Up next, nobody likes dealing with flies during the summertime, especially livestock producers. When it comes to cattle, flies can cause a multitude of problems. We recently caught up with an extension educator to discuss some mitigation tactics. Market Journal's Mike Straub brings us this story.
It's no question that moisture has been a blessing for crops in western Nebraska this year, but for cattle, not so much. Stable fly population has been on the rise, and the number of them have been greater than normal. Over the past few weeks, the horn fly is also on the rise. It's encouraged for producers to apply a means of fly control.
Well, certainly, especially in the west central to western part of Nebraska, we've had an abundance of rainfall, which has actually helped produce a very substantial stable fly population for our pasture cattle. And we're experiencing numbers like I have not seen before because of the moisture and the material that they develop in. We had a lot of cattlemen feeding hay during the winter time, and some of that gets spilled out, and if we get enough moisture on it, that provides a very good medium for stable fly development, which we have seen now. I've heard reports ranging from Cook, Nebraska, all the way up to Chadron, experiencing significant stable fly numbers. And our own research cattle here, we have numbers that I have not seen before on our pastured cattle. So the ingredients were all there. The eastern part of the state, not so much. You guys are experiencing some drought issues there, so stable flies are a little bit lower. But I have heard reports in the northeast part of the state where numbers are fairly high in feedlots. Now, switching gears to another pasture fly is the horn fly, which stays on the animal almost exclusively. It's a very small fly, and most of the time producers will see them on the backs and sides of animals. And we have seen numbers increase rather dramatically over the last 2 weeks. If producers have not applied any method of fly control to this point, I would encourage them to do something. We have a variety of different methods, and it all depends on their management system as to which one is going to work. But it is critical to provide some means of fly reduction out there, because both fly species impact animal behavior and animal productivity. So I would encourage our producers to do something.
Face flies have been a problem as well. They usually peak in late July and into August. Drought situations in the eastern part of the state could reduce the face fly population, as moisture is a big factor in its life cycle.
We have seen a few face flies starting earlier this week. I would expect to see numbers increase as we move into July. Normally, here in the west central part of the state, we see face fly numbers kind of peaking in late July and early August. Now that may shift because of the weather that we've had this spring, but historically, face fly numbers are always present in the eastern part of the state because of higher moisture situations. That may change a bit this year if they remain in a drought, because they have a little bit longer life cycle, and if moisture isn't there, the manure pat will dry out before the larvae complete their development. So a lot of it depends on Mother Nature. The fly life cycle is very dependent on moisture and heat to complete its life cycle. So there's a few things that could happen between now and the end of July, and it just remains to be seen what our weather patterns will do.
As we move through the summer months, it's highly encouraged that cattle producers use some method of fly control. Weather has been a big reason that flies are on the rise this season, and they could be a factor in reducing the production of your cattle. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Mike Straub.